All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And thank you, as always, for waiting patiently for the intro to finish up there. Allowing some time for more people to file in. I see we already hit 50 likes. Love to see it. Thank you guys so much for that. Anime for Entertainment says we just need a roadmap, man. They've been cooking for so long. Where are the new IPs at? Come on, Sony. Anime for Entertainment. The last 3 words of your chat here. Come on, Sony. Really funny. It'll make sense later today why that's funny. But I couldn't agree more. That's actually what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about what Sony needs to do as soon as possible. Obviously, it's my opinion, but I think a lot of people are going to agree with what I'm going to say. PlayStation Pete says, a manager at GameStop told me not to buy a PS5 Pro. Interesting. I'm pretty sure the managers working at GameStop, they're definitely not supposed to encourage people not to buy products from their store. Just saying. I'm pretty sure that's antithetical to their entire job there, but maybe, you appreciate the honesty. But decide for yourself, my friend, PlayStation Pete. If you want a PS5 Pro, you get a PS5 Pro. If you don't, no worries. You'll be just fine with the base PS5. It's up for you to decide. And actually, that's really what's driving this conversation that I want to have with you guys today. It's the fact we've been so hyper fixated, understandably so, on the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's impossible not to talk super in-depth about the PS5 Pro, the reveal that just happened, and everything else regarding it. But I feel like something that is getting a bit neglected in the midst of all this backlash and anger and the butting of heads is what's most important, and that is, the games, right? The games. And so that's essentially what I want to focus today's conversation on. I'm not planning, as of right now anyway, I have no plans to stream tomorrow or Saturday. So this is basically going to be the last stream of the week. And I thought it was kind of important to wrap up this week's, discussion, right? With getting back to what is most important. Because here's something I want to say, right? And I think a lot of people would agree with this. For as much anger and consternation as we're seeing towards the PlayStation 5 Pro right now, I think everybody can agree that the reason why people are on PlayStation, right, for I don't want to give a percentage, but I just say most people who play on PlayStation, the reason why we are there, we are on PlayStation, is for the games. That's the reason. That's always been the reason. That will always be the reason. And so I just want to kind of focus in on this conversation about what's going on right now, the state of PlayStation and their games and their studios and what we can expect. We have a new rumor or confirmation of a rumor regarding an upcoming event. But before we go any further, will I be doing a members stream tomorrow? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. We're either doing the members stream today or tomorrow. So when I said I wasn't streaming tomorrow, I just meant publicly. I have to see how this stream goes today, but for all of my members, we're going to be doing a members only stream either today after this one or just a dedicated one tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out. So either way, you're going to get some of that members content. Saying tomorrow, please. We'll see. We'll see. I can't make any promises. It could very well happen today. Been very busy lately, so it's been trying my best to stick to a proper schedule, and it's been hectic. But I appreciate you guys bearing with me. And before we go any further, I do just want to let you guys know a couple of ways you can support the content, support the community, and support the channel. Obviously, just being here watching, thank you guys so much. Hitting that like button. We're already past 75 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 100. Definitely helps out with the algorithm. I'm sure you've noticed the channel's been growing a little bit here, so everybody who's been hitting that like button, that's what it's doing. It's helping with the algorithm and bringing new people in. 3 ways you can support the channel directly, or 4 ways. Become a channel member, gain access to exclusive perks like members-only content. If you're already a member, consider gifting memberships. We're shooting for a goal of 25 members today. You guys know the deal, or at least most of you should. We hit 25 members, we will feed the beast. And Leia's actually in here too, although I don't think she cares for snacks. And you can also consider dropping a super chat, ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, anything in between. There's also a 4th bonus way to donate, a direct donation link where you can still leave a chat, just like you would a super chat, except 100% of what you donate goes directly towards the content creator. So before we proceed, just want to give a big shout out and thank you to this community. Again, you guys are the sponsors of the channel. You guys make everything here possible, and I'm very grateful for that. As I say that, we have Brandon Orozco giving a super sticker here. Looks like saying top 10. I've never seen that one. Well, I don't know, actually. Yeah, it says 10 with a balloon and then a thumbs up. It says top. Never seen that super sticker before, but Brandon, thank you for that, buddy. Hanzo, you're saying I like that people feel there will be no games for the rest of the PS5 tenure. Actually says people should watch NX Gamer on the PS5 Pro. He is the best game tech guy on YouTube. He's way more knowledgeable than Digital Foundry. Maybe I'll go check that out. Lone Wolf Gamer, you're saying I'm not as energetic as usual? Yeah, it's probably because I didn't get really good sleep last night. I don't know, man. I've had this problem with my stomach since last night. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something I ate. Just had like horrible, like out of nowhere, just horrible acid reflux last night. Like I had to take medicine for it. I couldn't even sleep. It's like not normal for me. I don't usually suffer from acid reflux like that. It was just like so bad. And I feel like it's still kind of lingering today. So apologies if I seem a little bit less enthused, but hopefully I don't just start projectile vomiting acid during this stream. That would probably make for some great entertainment value, but not good, Blake Wilson with a $10 chat says, hey, MBG, speaking of games, next Tuesday marks the 11th anniversary of GTA 5's release. Wondering if Rockstar will release an update on GTA 6, especially since they put out updates on Tuesdays. That's actually interesting to think. I didn't realize that that's going to be the anniversary or the 11th anniversary for GTA 5. I wouldn't get my hopes up. Oh, wait, hold on, actually. You're saying it is next week. And that's actually apparently when Sony is going to be hosting the State of Play, supposedly. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe the stars could align. I'd keep expectations in check, but maybe there's a chance. Just maybe. I can't believe it's been 11 years. Saranko, you're saying water helps acid reflux? Well, I have a giant thing of water here, so hopefully that will help. No coffee today. Yeah, actually, I'm planning on playing Until Dawn. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it at launch. Again, this is the problem. Silent Hill 2 is coming out 4 days later, and I definitely want to play that first. But I probably, yeah, at some point I am going to play Until Dawn. It does look good. Baking soda helps acid reflux. Really quick, before I read what MRPD says here, I've heard that, but I also heard that it can actually be kind of bad for you because it really messes with your like stomach's pH too much. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, I don't want to make anything worse in the long run, but baking soda is good for a lot of things, man. That I do know. Baking soda is very good for a lot of things. But MRPD, member for 14 months, says, don't get a PC debate against the Pro. Get a PC and lose my 1,300 plus games across PS4, PS5, and VR, wait 1+ years to be able to play select games, PlayStation games on PC. Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, MRPD. I've been seeing this as well, and that's a thought that recently occurred to me too, which is like, wait, yeah, if you're already invested in the PlayStation ecosystem and you have a massive library of games, like, I mean, again, it's an optional console, so it's like you don't have to upgrade to it. You could just kind of keep things the way they are and keep all of your games, you know? Hold on one sec. I gotta let Lay out. She's screaming at the door. Freaking pants are falling down here. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, MRPD. I've been seeing so many different arguments on the internet about the Pro, and I mean, obviously, we're gonna bring the Pro up today, but I'm hoping that won't be the focal point. It's going to be impossible for it not to be attached to the conversation, generally speaking. But yeah, again, it's like I see people trying to make the argument where it's like, here's like an $800 PC is literally better than a PS5 Pro. It's like, it's still $800. And, if you are talking about moving from console to PC, it's a pretty big transition. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I would never tell somebody don't go to PC. Like, do what you want, right? Like, do what feels right for you. But I just think there are other considerations that people are not really thinking about. And I don't even know how accurate that is, by the way, the $800 thing. That's just what I've seen people. Again, I don't care enough to look into it. Like, people are always getting in these kind of pissing contests where they're really trying to one-up each other, where it's like, see, I told you. And it's like, I don't know, man. You should probably put that energy into just doing what will make you happy, and you'd probably be a happier, more satisfied person at the end of the day. Just a thought. We have Chris Brown here. He says, hate bandwagon online for everything is tiring for me. Everyone with the same drone mentality for views on any topic. I want to log off and just enjoy life. I totally hear you, Chris, and there would be nothing wrong with that. I mean, yesterday I got a lot of negative feedback and some straight up hate from some people because I wasn't willing to just say what people expected me to say, or I guess what everybody else was saying. Like, for example, I mean, I had a comment like calling me out where they were like, they were basically saying that I was defending Sony, essentially. And it was weird because it was like, I literally, and I use the word literally very intentionally right now. I literally stated probably 10 or more times over the course of my 4-hour stream yesterday, which is a lot of times. I stated 10 or more times that for the people who are complaining at Sony and giving them their feedback and, feel like they're making their voices heard, and that's important, so Sony gets the message, I literally encourage people to keep doing that. The only thing I told them to do is not direct it towards me because I'm not Sony. That was it. Like, that was all I was trying to say. And it's just, it's the way these things go. People are going to hear things the way they want to hear them. If they don't hear somebody freaking out and screaming about the PS5 Pro and giving Sony the middle finger and basically telling them to shove it, and again, kind of jumping on the bandwagon, then basically you're just a corporate shill and you're totally okay with Sony doing literally whatever they want. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, I just think it's very comical that people are out here leaving comments telling me that I am just totally okay with letting Sony do whatever they want. And, I should, like, I'm not doing the right thing in this circumstance, but I just don't know where these people were every stream and every video talking about Concord. I just don't know where they were. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm trying to say here, man, is who the fuck cares what people on the internet have to say, including me? Like nobody, you don't have to give a flying fuck what I have to say. And honestly, I'd recommend don't take anything I say to heart because I'm just one dude here talking into a microphone. But certainly don't take anything somebody is typing to heart. You know, make your own decisions. That seems to be the problem with people these days is they don't know how to make their own decisions. Too many people, they need to click on the videos to hear what the people have to say in order to make the decision. And I understand like it is human nature to kind of be interested in what other people are saying and doing. I totally get that. And I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with it, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to make your own decision and not give a shit what other people think. If you want to buy a product that people hate and despise, but you think it would make you happy and bring you some type of satisfaction or joy in your life, why would a person ever let what other people have to say about that product stop them from doing that? You know? And I get that it's like, well, maybe it's like a morality thing and an ethics thing. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, we're talking about fucking video game consoles here. Like, if this was something on another level where it's like, it really does very clearly bleed out into, like, are you literally morally wrong for buying a product? I mean, people just take things to the extreme level with everything, and I just don't know that it's necessary. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to make the PS5 Pro the focus, and here we are talking about the PS5 Pro. That's a good question, and I want to answer this really quick. Do you think because of the backlash, Sony will drop the price? No, they won't. And that I know, like, people get upset with me when I say that because they're like, well, MBG, you have influence and you should encourage people to rally against Sony. Listen, I'm stating it here again, even though I know people aren't going to listen. If you have a problem with the PS5 Pro price and you think Sony's ripping you off and you think what Sony's doing is wrong, rally and let them know. Boycott, do whatever you got to do. I am not telling you to not do that. That you should do that if you believe it's going to get Sony's attention. But what I believe is Sony will not drop the price of the PS5 Pro because Sony doesn't care about the person who's upset about the price of the PS5 Pro. They simply don't. Because they know that if you are upset about the price of the PS5 Pro, you're not the target audience. Now, I want to acknowledge one last thing here before I move on, just because this is something I didn't mention yesterday. I have seen people say, I'm an enthusiast, not me, like people speaking to me saying, I'm an enthusiast, and even I think the price is too high. And so that means it's definitely wrong, or, something's definitely off here. And it's like, I get that. I do believe that there are people who do consider themselves enthusiasts that were prepared to buy a Pro, but once they found out it's $700 without a disk drive and a stand, they were like, whoa, this is too far. Again, that's not going to stop Sony from going through with it because they're perfectly fine with you just having a base PS5. It does not bother them. That, unless, listen, I'll be real with you. The only thing that would get Sony to change the price of the PS5 Pro, and this is the only thing, and this is not going to happen. This is why I'm telling you it's pointless. What happened with Concord was not pointless. But in this case, it is pointless because the only thing that would get Sony's attention and make them reevaluate their price point is if people started leaving the PlayStation ecosystem. Like, literally, they just started leaving in waves. And they started losing engagement. Console sales started to slow down to a halt, and players are just leaving. That's the only thing that would make them go, oh, you know what? Hold on. We're actually losing people now. But I'm telling you that's not going to happen because what is happening right now is anybody who is angry at Sony for the PS5 Pro price point and also has a PS5, they're moving on. They're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go boot up my PS5 now, I guess, and play it, or go back to my PC and play it. Like, you know what I mean? If they're not on PlayStation. That's all. I'm not, you guys know, if there is something that I think is not right or uncool or whatever, and I really believe that if the community rallied around it and it could change it, I'm all for that. That's why I did it with Concord, because I actually believe that if we like really as a community, if we don't touch Concord, or we like really send the message that this is not what we want for our games, you know, I think it could work. And in this case, I just think it's a completely different situation, and it's one that if Sony chooses to just do nothing, it's ultimately inconsequential at the end of the day. I mean, maybe you could make that argument that if they chose to do nothing with Concord, it would be inconsequential. But the reality is Sony didn't have to delete Concord off of PlayStation, you know, and PC. Like, they could have kept Concord out there, and the end result would have been the exact same. So it's like, in a way, it would have been inconsequential in the sense that the consequences have already been rendered. But this is basically the same thing, just on the other extreme end, if that makes sense. We also have Brandon with the $10 super chat, and he says, people act like Sony's going to stop selling the base PS5. Yeah, well, luckily they're not. Here's what I'm curious about, Brandon. You talk about the base PS5, and we're going to get into the conversation about games in just a moment. I clearly should stop prefacing my streams. When you talk about the base PS5, I am so curious to see during Sony's like next earnings. I think it's in November. I'm pretty sure. I'm curious to see like what they have to say about PS5 sales, because the last thing they said about PS5 sales was they were starting to slow down. Not hugely, but slightly. And since then, there was Concord, Astro Bot, and now we have the PS5 Pro reveal saying November 14th. Okay, so November 14th, I'm just curious to see what they have to say, you know? Because with the way I see people acting right now, I don't know, man. It's easy to think that this is going to have some kind of tangible negative impact, but I'm not convinced it will. Because again, I just think anybody walking into a store or shopping online, like right now, they're still just seeing a base PS5 and it's $500, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to get that. I don't know, or your digital one for $450. We also have Josh Z here saying, MBG, what is a gaming pet peeve? Mine is gamers who don't read and then criticize game design. Like it's not the game. You just didn't pay attention. Shaking my head. That's an interesting one, Josh. Gamers who don't read and then criticize game design. Yeah, that, I mean, I wouldn't say that's like a specific pet peeve of mine, but like I have encountered certain situations where I've witnessed that, and it can be annoying. But I'm also sometimes the person that falls into that trap, and then I kind of realize like, oh, oops. I guess it maybe comes down to focus, but I know this is maybe really random and not as like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but for me, it's eating while gaming. Like that has always been strange to me, and I've always thought it was so weird, and that's something that like has always bothered me even as a kid, where I would like go over my friends' houses and they'd like be playing their PlayStations or their Xboxes, but they would just be eating while playing, and they would just get shit all over the controllers, and it would just drive me nuts, where I'm like, I gotta get out of here, man. Like, you guys are nuts. Like, you guys are insane. This is totally wrong. Or like, you know, if you go to pick up a controller that somebody else was using and it's just all greasy and stuff, and you're like, oh man. And I know that's such a strange one because it's not like, it's, again, I think it's very different from what you were saying here, where you're talking about like gamers who criticize game design. Like mine is very much not involving the games themselves, but just the act of playing games. That's definitely the number one thing for me, where I can like basically deal with any opinion somebody wants to throw at me about gaming. But if you're sitting there eating like a bag of Doritos or something with a controller in your hand, I'm just like, no, that is cursed. But wasn't there like a controller that was released, by the way? And I think it was just a spoof controller, but it was like the anti-grease controller or something by like KFC, where you could like you could eat fried chicken while holding that controller and it like wouldn't get grease on, like the grease wouldn't get on the controller. I don't know, something like that. And I just remember thinking like, man, that is the most cursed thing I've ever seen. Xbox anti-chicken controller. So interesting super chat, Josh. And I have a couple of direct donations. I'm going to read them in just a moment. Somebody posted the disgusted Homelander meme. Nice. We have Ollie Smith saying, I agree it's overpriced, but has everyone forgot the price of a Steam Deck or an Asus ROG? I think that's what it's called. A 1080p machine. Just saying, all these PC YouTube channels said nada. Yeah. Again, man, I do think a major contributing factor here is prices like this are usually reserved for the PC space. You know what I mean? And I do think, like, in trying to understand the psychology, like, why are people really getting this worked up about it? I think it is because, like, people just simply were never expecting a console for $700. You could expect a PC for that price, right? Or any of these devices that, you know, are basically PC handhelds. But a console just traditionally has not, you know, it just has not been part of it, part of that like price range. And I'm not sure what's going on here. It looked like we got a member and I was about to shout it out, but now it says it was says message retracted. What's going on there? Like, was the membership retracted or wait, was that even a membership or was that a... Yeah, no, it says member new. That's weird. His name was Frank. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That's really strange. We also have Cypherpunk saying Switch 2 maybe $400, but 2 SKUs. So dearer version 2. Frank says that was me, a renewal MBG. Okay, thank you, man. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why on my end it says the message was retracted, but thank you so much for the upgrade or the renewal, I mean, buddy. I really appreciate that. Really strange. I don't know if YouTube's glitching out again. It's been doing that recently. I have a couple of direct donations. Let me read those. Just give me a moment to bring them up. Thank you guys for all the direct donations as well. They definitely help. We have Venino. He says, MBG, don't you feel like we're getting punished because we like physical media? Yeah, I do feel that way sometimes. And that really does annoy me. I really wish that companies didn't make it so obvious that they just want to get rid of physical media. I don't think Sony will anytime remotely soon. They would lose way too much money. But, excuse me, you know, I'm seeing more and more video game publishers just be like, yeah, we're not doing a physical release. And it does kind of feel like we're being punished because I think what people who like physical media have proven is that we're willing to pay a little bit more to ensure we can get a physical disc and a physical copy. And I feel like that's something these companies should care about, you know, not as a way to exploit it, but just to be aware that even though the audience might be shrinking and it might not be the most, you know, as relevant as it once was, there are still millions of people who very much care about physical games and physical media and are willing to pay for it. And, you know, I've explained before that the reason why these companies want to go all digital is because it benefits them. One less external factor where they have to, lose money to it, get rid of the middleman, so to speak. And I get that, but it does feel that way sometimes. I do agree. We have Henry 3K. He says, how are you, bro? I find it hilarious that PC zealots are failing to build a brand new PC with warranty, 2 terabyte SSD and Wi-Fi 7 for $700 exact, LOL. Well, first off, I'm doing okay. I hope you're doing well. And Yeah. Again, I haven't been looking too deeply into that, and I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand why somebody would decide, you know what, I mean, I guess it makes for good YouTube content, and I know that there are going to be people who do it, but I guess my view on it is like, look, man, if you feel like that's something you really have to do, like I have to put together a PC build to prove the PS5 Pro isn't worth it, like why even bother, bro? Like just don't even look at the Pro. Don't even pay attention to it. Like it's not for you. Like if that's what you feel like you need to do, and I don't know. I guess maybe it can be helpful for people who are trying to decide. I do understand that angle of it. The more I think about it, but I don't know, man. I guess I just feel like this is like PC gaming has always been here. Like it's not like it's a new thing, and I just feel like people by this point, generally speaking, are well aware that PC is a very viable option. And Sony is over on PC. They're not releasing all their games day one there, but it's a viable option. So I don't know. I guess it's natural that there's going to be some kind of fixation on it because the PS5 Pro is that expensive, but I don't know, man. You're saying they're struggling to do that, though. I might have to look into it to see if that's true or not. Oh, wow. That is really annoying, actually. And that is bullshit. You're saying I bought Astro Bot and it's installed on my PS5 and Sony still won't allow me to rate the game on PSN. Another bullshit thing with physical. I had no idea. Wow. Come on, Sony. They should definitely fix that. I wonder why they wouldn't allow it. We also have 2 direct donations from Moonshot. He says, last week I said that the PS5 Pro reveal would be telling as to where their head's at when it comes to the importance of competition for consumers. I think the hardware and tech in the Pro is very impressive, but I have a big problem with the lack of excitement and announcements present in the reveal. I agree with that, and that's actually really what I wanted to discuss today, Moonshot, because I do think that what the PS5 Pro is doing in the console space, just purely from a tech perspective, it's impressive to see a console offering all that in one package. But I do agree, man. Like, there's just something so underwhelming about the way they're going about this, and so this is gonna Moonshot. I guess what I'll say to you, man, is just hang tight because I got something I want to tell you guys about that I find pretty interesting. I don't know that it reveals too much, but just something maybe you might want to know about. Hickzock says $700 is just a mid graphics card, not even the top. Well, that's what I think is going to be so fascinating to see with the PS5 Pro is like, like Naughty Dog showed off The Last of Us Part 2, or Mark Cerny, I should say, highlighted The Last of Us Part 2. And don't get me wrong, like The Last of Us Part 2 is a very impressive game. It still holds up, still one of the best looking games out there. But we can't ignore the fact that it's a PS4 game. That game was built from the ground up natively for the PlayStation 4. And any improvements we see on the PS5 are just it's improvements to a PS4 game. It's not a native PS5 game. And so I think because of that, what I'm trying to say is there's still so much more that a studio like Naughty Dog could probably extract for sure out of the Pro. And that's why I'm just so curious to see the first native PS5 game built around the PS5 Pro. I think that will give us a much better idea of like what this thing can really do. Oh, hold on. We got some breaking news here, guys. State of play on the 24th confirmed by Jeff. Oh, hold on now. Let's see. Let me go check. Did he literally just confirm that? Because I don't I usually get this stuff through the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, but he maybe posted on his Twitter. Canesy7 says, hey, MBG, did you see John Linneman from Digital Foundry posted a tweet and said, wow, yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth looks a lot better on the PS5 Pro, night and day difference. I didn't, actually. I did hear some people saying that, though, saying that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has benefited tremendously from the Pro. And I can't say I was necessarily expecting that to be the game that people were like, whoa, but that is a PS5 game. You know? That is the interesting part, is that is a native PS5 game in the sense that it's it's not available on PS4. So that's pretty telling. And Omen86 says, still discussing the dirt cheap price of the PS5 Pro. Stop talking and start playing. It's all about the games. Sony's in the kitchen cooking quality. No, I hear you, Omen. I guess it's just natural, To be honest, I was not planning on talking about the Pro for the first 35 minutes of the stream. I really wasn't, I promise. But people are still, I'm getting super chats and it's still on people's minds. Forgive us, Omen86. They must be slow cooking, but it'll be worth it. Well, actually, hold on. You guys are telling me, though, that Jeff Grubb confirmed that the event is going to be on the 24th. State of play. Let me see if I can find this and confirm this for you guys. I'll check Twitter first. Maybe that's where he confirmed it. Oh, I want to say here really quick, too. People were speaking of games, people were talking about Astro Bot and wondering how it sold. And people were saying that it maybe didn't sell well, or it flopped, or it failed because, I don't know, some brief UK data came out, but it wasn't the bigger picture. Well, Christopher Dring, he says Astro Bot's UK launch is solid. First week sales are 21% higher than the debut of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart in 2021. Astro Bot was number 2 last week, only behind Space Marine 2, which in the UK, it's the fastest selling Warhammer game to date. So that's the first piece of data we have about how Astro Bot has sold, and I think it's good news. I do. I think it's good news. I hope that we see that kind of trend continue where we start to hear how it's selling in other territories and it's just doing well. Giant Bomb was streaming. Maybe it came from there. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet. Anybody in the chat? I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is false info. Anybody in the chat who was talking about this, do you have a source? Can you provide me a source? I think the biggest news of the day is that Tony Hawk said he's working with Activision again on something new. Yeah, I did see that. That's definitely something I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to. Love the Tony Hawk games. Saying Push Square put something out about Astro Bot as well. All right, let me go check. Looks like they put out, there's an update available now, but who knows what it does. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Japan sales charts. Astro Bot barely registers at retail. PS5 numbers plummet after the price hike. I'm not surprised. I think the PS5 is not going to sell too well in the in its home territory now. The yen is very weak, and they did increase the price dramatically, quite a bit. Ignis, that leaker on Twitter, apparently said the same thing about an SOP on the 24th. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Do you feel the hype building? I don't know. I don't want to get overly hyped, but man, I'm ready. I am more than ready. Please, Sony, deliver us with your state of play. I'm more than ready for a show focused on games. Believe me when I tell you. And Omen86 with another super chat says, the problem is people feel entitled to get more for less. Game Piss, oh my God. Game Piss is the main example. It won't last. No sales, no future. Xbox fake perception of reality. Well, yeah, dude, I totally agree with what you're saying, Omen. It does feel like these days people, not everybody, but more and more people are feeling like they should, like they're entitled for more for less. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong inherently with wanting more for less. Like I think we all want that. Like, hey, it would be great to get more for less. Absolutely. But I do prefer to just kind of stick to the, I want to get something that just feels like a perfectly even and fair trade. Like that's more than enough for me, where if I'm going to pay X amount for a product, I just want to feel like that product is worth the amount I paid for it and is reflective of that price. Like the quality of it is reflective of that. And I do think that sometimes some people, they really get too far out there and like thinking, nah, man, what are you going to do for me today? And it's like, well, all right. I mean, I guess that's one way to go about it. That's one way to go about it. But yeah, Game Pass is an interesting, it'll be very interesting. We're about a month away or so, I think, of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 launching into it. Will be interesting to see what happens with Game Pass and the first mainline Call of Duty launching day one into it. We also have Rich Rod with a direct donation saying, Dolt, shut your mouth. Handhelds are $800. Don't ever disrespect MBG. MB gangsters, stand up. Dolt is full of butterscotch and is ugly. PS5 Pro gangsters. Rich Rod, I hope you appreciate the way I read that. I had fun reading that one. I don't know why. Rich Rod, something about the way that one was worded and the way it flowed, Thank you once again, Rich Rod, for delivering your words that clearly must be spoken by me. So check this out. Gaming Leaks and Rumor subreddit. John Harker, a known leaker on Reset Era forums. John Harker claimed previously that Trinity, the PS5 Pro codename, would be revealed this week, and that Royal would be at the end of the month. He just confirmed that Royal is the codename for an upcoming event, the long-rumored State of Play. So we are now getting confirmation that apparently Sony decided to go with the codename Royal for their upcoming event. I don't want to read too much into it, but I don't know. That's an interesting code name. What could it mean? Does it mean anything? That's the code name. Yeah, Royal is the code name for the State of Play that's happening apparently on the 24th. Royal, as in royalty. It's for Persona 5 Royal. Like the color. I don't think they mean it in that way. That would be very strange. Like the color. Omen86 says Sony making profit is why they lead the market. Yeah, man. I think too many people, when they're talking about the business side of these companies, they fail to understand that it is important for these companies to make profit in order for them to operate efficiently. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a inherent level of greed where the profitability can be driven by shareholders, so that way shareholders can get rich. But I mean, that's the way capitalism works, So there is like an inherent built-in level of greed. But at the end of the day, though, like it's just the way things work, right? It's like if you want to grow any business, you need that business to be profitable and to make more money than you're losing. So that way you can continue to not only operate efficiently. Oh, no, no, no. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You got it. Come on, you're fucking with me. Not you, Omen. Somebody in the chat said that that's going to be devastating, bro. I don't want, like, I don't know. I'm trying not to be like, I don't want to overreact, but you're saying Jeff Grubb said that the state of play will not have first party games. When did Jeff Grubb say this? I gotta start. All right, is Jeff Grubb live right now or something? Because I feel like people keep saying stuff about Jeff Grubb. Devil Shooter's just laughing, saying funny if true. Do you remember the Royal Chess game with all the game references before that one PS5 show? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, William. That's what I was thinking of. Well, listen, I don't want to jump to any conclusions because this is just something I read in the chat. I don't know. Somebody said that Jeff Grubb also confirmed that there's going to be a state of play on September 24th, but I don't know. As of right now, I'm not seeing anything. I'm still looking. Let me see. Not seeing anything. Well, here's what's really wait, Rich Rod, you're saying you sent I did read your last message. Oh wait, you saying in the chat? Rich Rod, I got you, man. I did read your message. Were you not here? Maybe you're behind. I don't know. This is a lie. So, all right, let's clear a couple things up here. Game Mess Mornings. Okay. Hold on. I gotta go do some research. Why can't I find his Game Mess Mornings? Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to be able to find. That's as far as my research goes. I can't find anything. I'm sorry. No, my Concord message. That's why it's codenamed Royal. Concord being re-released with the Battle Royale mode. Rich Rod, that is like possibly the most cursed thing I've read. So I'm just going to pretend I didn't read it. Oh, he was streaming on Giant Bomb. All right, let me go check. Oh, yep, found it. All right, let me see. He does have timestamps. I don't know. Chat, you might have to help me out on this one. So his Game Mess Mornings, he has 2 timestamps. One is about the PS5 disk drive selling out online after the Pro reveal, and the other one says PlayStation wants to put more emphasis on family-friendly games, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which part he talks about it. Yeah, I really want to find out if he if Jeff Grubb says there's not going to be first party games. I actually believe it. He's been pretty spot on with PlayStation stuff, man. And I don't think that's something he would just say casually. But I have a bit of a theory if that does turn out to be true, because, well, because here's the thing, right? There was this person, this random account. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. All right, check this out. Now, this is fascinating to me. Guy on Twitter, late August, leaked a bunch of PS5 Pro information. He was correct about the PS5 Pro event date and was extremely close to the approximate runtime. So there's this random no-name account on Twitter that at some point in August was basically doling out a bunch of info about what Sony was going to be doing this month. And nobody gave a shit or paid attention until after the PS5 Pro reveal event, because they realized, hold on a second, this random no-name account, they were correct. This is what they put on their account in quotations. Quote, tune in September 19th, 2024 for State of Play, focusing on indie and third-party games making the most of PS5 Pro. But don't expect any news on PlayStation Studio titles just yet. End quote. Now, he literally wrote up, apparently, what is going to be inside the blog post for the State of Play. But this is why I'm saying, if Jeff Grubb just confirmed that there's not going to be first-party games, then this person, 28 minutes. Thank you, Yas. I'll go check that in just a second. 28-minute mark. Omen86 says, people, Sony greedy. Same people win first-party games shows for the first time. Make mess and pants take my money. Well, hey, man. I absolutely agree with that second part. The only problem is Sony is slow cooking, man. Sony's slow cooking. I can't wait to see their first-party games, though. I really can't. I feel like we've been waiting for a while. Disco Cobra 2013 says, do you think it's possible to take a neutral stance when it comes to video games and other entertainment properties? With my beliefs, I don't or won't side with certain people in the industry. I have no dog in that fight. I think it's absolutely possible, yeah. And I think realistically, at the end of the day, most people are just naturally neutral with all of this stuff, because it's like, I think what happens is everybody has their preference, right? Everybody has their preference. This is what I prefer. This is what I like better individually. And then, somebody else like prefers something else. And I think it's just the competitive nature of it all, right? Where I think the realization is that these companies, they all have the exact same goal, which is we would like your money for our products. And the reality is there's only so much money to go around. There's only so many customers to go around. And so these companies begin to fight one another and compete with one another for the customer's money. And I think that just kind of naturally bleeds over into a certain portion of the fan base, or just people who are involved in the industry, because it's like, let's face it, we all value our money and we care about where our money goes and what we're spending our money on. And nobody wants to make a bad purchase. Nobody wants to have buyer's remorse. And so I think it just kind of comes down to, at the end of the day, everybody, or not everybody, but certain groups of people basically agreeing on the fact that, hey, I made this purchase and, I think it was the wiser purchase. And then Another person made the same purchase. Like, I agree. And here are the reasons. But then you get somebody else who's like, whoa, hold on. I could have purchased that, but I didn't. I purchased this instead. And I think this was the better purchase. And so it really just, I think that's all it kind of boils down to. And I just think that it's totally fine. 2758. Thank you, Irfan. I think it's totally fine if you're just like, well, I mean, I don't, I don't care. It's just what I like. What I like is what matters. It just only matters to me, and I don't really care if it matters to anybody else. You know what I mean? So I think it's totally fine. I think it's fine either way. Like, I think it's fine if you want to partake in the conversation and, go deeper into it and get, kind of get involved in the more competitive aspect. I like to do that. It can be very engaging, very interesting. But again, I think it's totally possible and totally fine if you're just like, I just kind of float around and go to what I like and don't really feel the need to engage. I think that's totally fine too. We have Keynesy70 says, MBG, sometimes you talk about a topic, but you don't show it on screen. How about you post a link to it in the chat so we can also check it out? Yeah, I could do that, but then you might leave. No, but let me play this so we can hear it. Irfan, you said 2757.
Expecting to have more for this system, and clearly they just keep pushing things back. Like, I've said before that that state of play is coming later this month. It's probably coming in about, let's say, 12-ish days. And in about 12-ish days, there will have a state of play, not a showcase. And it's like, still, a year goes by with no PlayStation Showcase, where it's like, here's all our big stuff. And it's like, so people are going to set expectations low again. And it's like, man, you don't even have, like, do you have Ghost of Tsushima to talk about yet? Do you have, like, all these, like, is there going to be a Naughty Dog game this generation? It is beginning to look a little bit like, oh man, it is taking them even longer than I think they expected to get these games out. And that is hurting them in a situation like this, where they try to go out and make a case for why this thing's worth $700, and they just don't have anything to go along with that.
Like, I don't know, have Chapel Roan sign a PS5 Pro, and then maybe I'll buy it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll buy it.
It's pretty good performance last night in the VMAs.
Roan of Arc.
Yeah. Oh man, that's very good. All right, so let's see here. PlayStation wants to put more emphasis on family-friendly games.
I don't. How are you guys reading that? I mean, he didn't explicitly. Yeah, that was Jeff Grubb, and that's what he said, I think, today. That was it. So he said it's happening in 12 days, but he didn't explicitly state. So here's what's important. Jeff Grubb, he did not explicitly state there will not be first party. What he explicitly stated is what he actually stated previously, which is it's not a showcase. It is a state of play, not a showcase. So look, I don't want to like take either side here and to say, oh no, there definitely will be first party. But I also don't want to say that there won't be. You're taking that as there's not going to be first party games. That would be, I don't know, man. That would be kind of next level unexpected for me. I don't know. So I want to say this. This is important. Listen, this is important. We have multiple insiders saying different things. Jeff Grubb, here's what Jeff Grubb has stated. Jeff Grubb stated in the next 12 days, so on the 24th, there's going to be a state of play. He says it's not going to be a showcase. It's going to be a state of play. He then says, so basically we're looking at another year without a showcase. And then he goes on to speculate that this likely means there will not be first party because it's not a showcase. He did not say he heard, like he's not saying he heard that there isn't going to be first party. He's just speculating that. It's good speculation. I mean, I totally see the logic behind it because it could be true. But we have another insider, Lunatic Ignis. Lunatic Ignis leaked on his Discord. I think it was a private Discord. He said that there is going to be a state of play not too long after the PS5 Pro reveal, except he's kind of saying the opposite of what Jeff Grubb is saying. He said that this is going to be a pretty big state of play and there will be first party. Now, now that I think about it, he said there will be first party games, but now I'm starting to wonder, could he have meant first party upgraded games? Because technically, you could say Sony showed first party games with the PS5 Pro. You could say that. They showed all first party, like a bunch of first party games, but not new ones. So I guess truthfully, we're going to have to wait and see. I think that's basically what it boils down to. We're just going to have to, he said new first party reveals. I have to go check the actual Discord post. Read it word for word. But I want to focus on this for one more moment, though. And I want to, before I read the rest of these super chats, I want to ask you guys how you feel about this. This third leaker, the no-name leaker, I don't know who this person is, but they were correct about this, the PS5 Pro. You know what? Actually, hold on. I don't know about this. I think this leaker is bullshit now that I think about it. Because look at this. This leaker, they said, tune in September 19th, 2024, state of play focusing on indie and third-party games, making the most of the PS5 Pro. But don't expect any news on PlayStation Studio titles just yet. I mean, that sounds like it could be real, but this person also was completely wrong about the price of the PS5 Pro. They were completely wrong. They got the price. Wait, were they wrong about it? Hold on. How much is the PS5 Pro in the UK? It's like, yeah, no, they were completely wrong. My bad. They were completely wrong about the price of the PS5 Pro in the UK. They were off by like 200 pounds. So that is a red flag. This person also said that the PS5 Pro would ship with an improved DualSense with better battery life and enhanced triggers. That was false. And it is worth noting he was wrong about the playtime. He said the video was going to be 12 minutes. It was only 9 minutes. So the only thing he got right was the date of the Pro reveal, which was the 10th. Other than that, he got everything else wrong. So I'm very, very hesitant to believe that this person knows what the blog post says 4 weeks before the blog post actually goes up. So I think I think this leaker in particular, and it's not a matter of like hopium, like hearing what I want to hear, but the guy was wrong about multiple things. So basically that leaves us with, again, Lunatic Ignis, who I want to see if I can find that thread again. Just give me a moment so I could read it word for word and tell you what he said. I mean, I know it seems like I know I am hanging on to every word here, but it's because I don't know, man. This is a pretty important thing. If Sony doesn't have a first party presence, you know, I feel like that's not going to help their case right now. Why can't I find it? Here we go. All right. So Lunatic Ignis, he says Sony will hold a pretty big state of play next week. For those asking how big, it will have first-party content, including a world premiere that I'm waiting for. But he goes on to say not 100% about the world premiere being at this event or the Game Awards. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know, man. It will have first-party content and one world premiere. So in other words, he's saying there might be one big first-party reveal. I don't know, man. I'm just nervous for Sony at this point, dude. I'm a little bit nervous for Sony at this point because it's like, I really feel like the best thing, the absolute best thing Sony could do to calm people down and make people not continue on this like kind of hate bandwagon would be to show new first party games. I really believe that. I think that if they do that, they'll be good. Shadowlink, what's up, man? We're talking about how apparently Jeff Grubb said that the state of play is going to happen on the 24th, but he seems to be assuming that there's not going to be first party content or like first party games. He's speculating that, it seems, and we're trying to figure out if we should expect first party games at this upcoming state of play. We have Kazuya88. Thank you so much for the super chat, buddy, saying, "Hi, MBG. I see many who claim the PS6 will be $800 to $1,000. BS, in my opinion, because the Pro is targeted at enthusiasts while the base models are for the masses. Still hyped for the PS5 Pro. Maybe I'll regret it, LOL." I doubt you'll regret it, because, I mean, Sony is not really doing much to sell you on it right now, you know? So if you're excited for it now, it's only going to get better down the line. Resident Evil 9, that'd be awesome. Ooh, he just teased on his Discord that Resident Evil 9 will be revealed at the state of play. That would get me very excited. I'm not going to lie. Resident Evil 9 would be I know that's not Sony first party. I'm not saying that would necessarily fully make up for it, but Resident Evil 9 being announced at the state of play, especially if it's like a PS5 Pro enhanced game, that'd be pretty sick. I love Resident Evil. I'm wearing a Resident Evil shirt right now. I don't know if you could tell. So, hell yeah. Oh my God, why does my back hurt so bad? What's happening to me? Why am I so messed up? MBG, are you sure it's not Sony first party? Oh, you're trying to... You think Sony struck a exclusivity deal for Resident Evil 9? A secret exclusivity deal for Resident Evil 9? Uh-oh. But Kazuya, yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, man. We'll have to wait and see. We got plenty of time, dude. And I appreciate the super chat, bud. We have PlayStation Pete. He says, "I'm still buying PS5 Pro September 26th, PlayStation Direct. What's your game of the year so far?" Ooh, I don't know. I actually don't know what my game of the year is. I have to go back and see everything I played. Like, I want to say... Could it be Helldivers 2? I mean, I don't want to say Astro Bot. Astro Bot, I don't know. I think I'm like halfway through the game right now, like 50% complete. I don't know how close. I feel like I'm getting close to the platinum or somewhat close. But I don't know. I gotta see it through. I gotta see how it all comes together. But I don't know that Astro Bot would be my game of the year. Just it could be like one of my top games of the year, but I don't know. Helldivers 2 might be. I have like over 100 hours in Helldivers 2, man, and that was like some of the most fun I had all year. I got to be honest. That might be my game of the year right now. I didn't get to finish Rebirth. Maybe I could finish Rebirth on the Pro. Stellar Blade, yeah, Stellar Blade. That's true. That did come out this year. Did beat that. Maybe if I finish Rebirth, that'll be my game of the year. I feel kind of good about not completing it though, because now that we're hearing that apparently Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is like hugely enhanced by the Pro, like big time, like a night and day difference. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a good thing I waited on this one. But PlayStation Pete says he's still getting the Pro. And we also have Kazuya88. He says, "One thing is certain, UE5 games will continue to struggle to hit 60 FPS on the base PS5. I don't think all PS5 Pro games will run at 60 FPS, but it will be much better than the base PS5. Yeah, that's something I agree with as well. And Omen, I'm sorry, I almost missed your chat here. I agree with that as well, Kazuya. We heard developers basically stating that they are anticipating the PS5 Pro will greatly help out specifically Unreal Engine 5 games. And yeah, I don't think they're going to be perfect. Like, I don't think the Pro is going to be able to make every Unreal Engine 5 game run at its absolute peak, but it should help quite substantially. And we also have Omen86 here saying, when I grew up, Ubisoft made quality. Rayman 2 was really a great platformer. Now their reputation is bad. What happened? Modern audience. Yeah, Ubisoft is a weird one, dude. Like, I just don't feel like hype for Ubisoft games at all. There are Ubisoft games I do like and I'm interested in, but I never feel like hyped for their games. Am I the only one? Like, I saw on PS5, Star Wars Outlaws is like the 5th most played game. But I don't know, man. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me. It's just not appealing to me. We need a Rainbow Six Vegas 3. That's what we need. Ubisoft, come on, bro. Rainbow Six Vegas 3, make it happen. There got any Rainbow Six Vegas fans in here? Far Cry's always been good too, yeah. Although the direction they're apparently going in with Far Cry is a little bit questionable. I think they're trying to make it a live service next. So, I don't know. I mean, I tried to get into Rainbow Six Siege a little bit, but I never could. It just didn't do it for me. All right, let me go check to see if there's I see a lot of people talking about Resident Evil 9 being leaked. I'm going to go see if I can try to find this. Resident Evil 9. Let me check. Are you guys sure? According to rumors, the state of play will take place on September 24th. At the same time, many different sources reporting that Resident Evil 9 will be revealed at the state of play. I think some of you guys are on this too quick. I feel like my chat is actually like informing me about these leaks quicker than even Twitter can, which is impressive. Apparently the state of play is happening on the 24th, but no, Jeff Grubb said it's going to be on the 24th, but they're like, he kind of made it sound like he's not expecting there to be any first party games. So it's like, when Sony announces a state of play, but with no first party games. That's interesting, though. I mean, we do have to consider the video game awards are happening in December, and I don't know, man. Sony could, save something for that. I feel like Tokyo Game Show, that's where we're going to see Death Stranding 2. That's my guess. You thought I was talking to myself? No, Mrs. MBG's in here right now. I'm just here talking to myself about Jeff Grubb. Like, yeah, Jeff Grubb confirmed the state of play on the 24th. Oh, man. Yeah, Mrs. MBG isn't even real, guys. Guys, we need to get a membership train going. Boss is very upset. Boss is so upset he just straight up left. We have it says we have 2 members today, but I feel like we only got 1 membership renewal. I don't know why it says we have 2 though. Come on, guys, we got to get to 25 members. We hit 25 members, we'll feed the chunk. Don't knock the camera over. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's time for you to leave, Mrs. MBG, because you're getting a little too chaotic here. Why are you doing this? Okay.
No.
Thank you for bringing him back. I don't think he wants to be in here. He's like, if I ain't getting treats. Boss is back, and then he left again. Yeah, I agree with that. You're saying we literally got Astro Bot announced at a state of play. I think we can absolutely expect new announcements now. I agree with that. I do agree. And Michael Cintron comes in and drops a 10 bomb. Michael Cintron wants to see Boss get his treats today. Michael, thank you so much, my friend, for answering the call. He kicks us off. 10 memberships gifted. Just a heads up to anybody who just received a membership gift, we're going to be doing a members... I think we are going to do it today. We're going to do the members stream after we wrap this one up. A members lounge. So, oh, please don't. She's liable to scratch everything up. Don't do it. They're not even showing up on camera. Just so you know. Just so you know. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. She's scratching my screen.
But that
Mrs. MBG is here to cause complete chaos.
You're pretty good.
Time for you to go.
No. Where's Luna?
I don't know.
You only have 2/3 of the cats. You need the last.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, man. Dude. Mrs. MBG hands reveal. Did you see her? Did her hand come on camera? Uh-oh. What does it take to be gifted? If you click Michael Cintron's gift icon at the top of the chat, it'll ask you to opt in to receive a membership gift. So you'll have a chance. So if anybody else drops any membership gifts, there's a chance. The way YouTube usually doles them out is the people who are here the most often, the most frequently. They're more likely to get gifted. But so basically, the longer you stay here, the longer you watch, the longer or the more you engage, the higher the chance you'll get gifted. But Michael, thank you for the 10 bomb, bro. So let's see if we can get that train going. See if we can get Boss his treats. And we will be doing a members lounge after this stream wraps up. Let me just update this. So we're at 11 on the day. Oh, man. Okay. Chaos. Pure chaos. I don't know where Luna is. Kazuya88 with another super chat. Thank you, buddy. You're saying, last chat for me, need to save 800 euros for the Pro, LOL. Do you think the PS5 Pro bundles with most wanted games like GTA 6 and The Last of Us 3 will sell better than the Pro alone? Much love to you, Mrs. MBG and Boss. Well, thank you so much for that, buddy. And I just realized I have 2 other super chats I forgot to read. I do think that if Sony wants, I think it depends on how well it sells. Like, I think Sony is prepared for the PS5 Pro to sell like a low amount and a low volume. But I think that if it's like much lower than they anticipated, they might be more willing to try to create some of these bundles. So I think there's a chance. Yeah, I want to say there's a chance. And I think something like GTA 6, I don't know that they would bundle the game in it, but just kind of maybe having them, like, if they're able to show the game on the box, like you can play GTA 6 on this console, like they might do something like that. Really quick, Shadowlink says, no, MBG, the more you interact with the chat, like commenting, the easier it is to be gifted. That's first. Then comes how often you are here. But that's at random. Okay, thank you. I didn't know it went like, I guess that does make sense, Shadowlink. So I guess the more engaged you are in the chat, the higher the likelihood you will receive a membership gift. You can't find Luna? Did you check under the bed? Uh-oh. Guys, we may have lost... Hold on, I know how to get her. This is MBG, can't find Luna. Okay. She's here. I knew she was in here. Well, I mean, I'm sorry.
Why
It's
is she? She was in here.
it's not time yet, Luna. We didn't hit 25 members yet.
Wow, give her a treat right now. Let's fuck up.
All right.
Austin and Leia, look, all of them are in here.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just... I'm only giving you a couple, and we'll save the bulk of it for...
Look, Leia wants one. She's in here for once. Good.
Sorry, guys. I'm just,
Golden catch.
Yep. All right, we'll really give them the amount that they expect if we hit the goal today. We have Kane Z7. He says RE9 revealed, and it's PS5 Pro exclusive for 6 months. Where are you getting that, Kane? Kane, I feel like you're making this up, bro. Where are you getting that? I mean, I don't know. People are saying that RE9 kind of leaked out a little bit. But I don't know. It being exclusive, I don't know. I could see Sony maybe trying to strike that kind of deal, but I don't know if Capcom would be willing because, I don't know, Resident Evil's always kind of been multi-plat. Maybe you're saying that's what it could be? Damn, Titus. See what happens? See what happens? Oh, Kane, you're saying it's a joke. Okay. And Omen86 says Sony needs to get a first-party studio to produce the Star Wars KOTOR remake. If others can't do it yourself, it will sell like hotcakes. Yeah, that's an interesting one. You would think that Sony would want to do something with KOTOR. You would think that they would want to do something with KOTOR and really try to make that a thing because people were very hyped for it. And I do agree it would sell a lot, but I don't know. Right now, it seems like they just kind of walked away from it. Maybe they'll come back. And we have Sinther's G-Man. Welcome to Greatness Awaits. He re-ups his membership. Thank you, buddy. Welcome back. That brings us up to 12 members on the day. So guys, we're at 12 members. Remember, you can always drop a single membership gift. They help contribute to the goal. Don't feel intimidated. MBG just entered the Ignis Discord and the RE9 leak seems legitimate. Could you tell me, Overlord, could you tell me exactly what he said? Because I'm not seeing it posted anywhere yet. I'd be pretty hyped for that. I'm not going to lie. Resident Evil 9. I wonder if the leaks we heard previously about Resident Evil 9 are true, like where it's going to star Leon. It's going to be like an island. It's going to kind of have like an Asian horror focus. That'd be pretty sick. He was just hinting at it. He put world premiere in just the number 9. Okay. Yeah, that would work. Omen says the Pro is not a separate console. It runs everything the base console can, just better. MBG, he had 3 teases. The first one was a 2025 image. The second, a 2025 image. And the third was a 9 image. So he's basically teasing 3 different games. The third tease does seem to fit with Resident Evil 9. You're just saying 2 2025 images. Maybe two separate games that are also going to be released in 2025? Unless it's the 3 separate images to make up one game. Maybe it's not 3 separate games. Capcom logo. Oh, Capcom logo, 2025 image, and the number 9. Okay. Oh, shit. All right. And we have Soyu, a.k.a. Mr. Hamster. He says, hey, what's up, man? Hamster is here. Long time no see, Mr. Hamster. I appreciate you still stopping by and checking in. Mr. Hamster's... Who here remembers Mr. Hamster? Good stuff, bro. Thank you for the super chat as well. Do I think if the PS5 Pro was 1 terabyte, it would cost less than $600? No, I don't think so. I mean, I do think it being 2 terabytes contributes to the $700 price, but I don't think that's the only reason. I'm waiting to see any reporting going on. These leaks. So, check this out. This is fascinating. Today it was announced Microsoft is laying off 650 more Xbox employees. And it's once again due to the Activision Blizzard deal. Somebody posted net impact from the Activision acquisition. And it's this chart here. I don't know where it's sourced from, but it says the net impact from the Activision acquisition resulted in an operating loss of $0.57 billion for fiscal year 24 Q4. Despite generating revenue of $1.68 billion, the costs associated with the acquisition and integration exceeded the gross margin, leading to an operating loss. So Microsoft is at this point, they're basically fighting for their life to make this acquisition even just break even. I mean, I feel like it's going to be okay because Black Ops 6 is probably going to correct that, I would assume. But it is interesting to think, like, it just goes to show, man. Yeah, it just goes to show that, I don't know, you do have to wonder why was Activision so willing to sell, you know? Again, though, I think Black Ops 6 will probably make up for that. It seems like there's a lot of hype for that game. And it's a mainline Black Ops game. It's probably going to sell really well. It's also releasing on last gen. But Prince, you're saying you canceled your Black Ops 6 pre-order? Really? I don't know. I went back and I played the open beta and I felt a lot better about it. I had some good games. And I'm like, well, I guess it's not too bad when I feel like I'm playing well. But yeah, that's crazy. They're laying off 650 more people, specifically from the Xbox division. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Once you find out how to use the movement, or once B-Flasher, you're saying once you found out how to do the movement, you had a lot of fun. Omen says, I hope it breaks their back. Arrogant, unlimited money talks annoy me. Yeah, fuck Microsoft, dude. Oh, God. You're saying for as many things that Sony has failed with this generation, Xbox continues to be the absolute king of F-ups. I can't believe it's the same company that made the 360. Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I don't really even know what to say about Microsoft anymore at this point. You know? Like, they're just, to me, the thing that's, the Activision Blizzard deal transformed Microsoft's gaming business entirely. Like, it's so clear that that Microsoft as a parent company towards Xbox, like, they are just not playing games anymore, man. They're just not. Like, ever since they acquired Activision Blizzard, they're just like, the gloves are off, like, towards our own Xbox division. Like, we're here to fucking make money. We're not playing around. Like, Xbox had, I guess, the Xbox division had plenty of time and opportunities to try to make something happen, and they just couldn't. So they bought Activision, and now it's just like, well, I mean, it seems to me like the more I hear Phil Spencer talk about the current situation, the more he makes it just pretty clear that, yeah, we got Microsoft breathing down our necks, and we need to show results. Like, I think that's the most important thing to understand about the situation right now with Microsoft and Xbox, is that Xbox is still a division underneath Microsoft, right? Like, Microsoft is still the parent company. So the expectation is we allowed this section of our company to make this mass investment. So now going forward, the expectation is results. We need to see results. And that's understandable, dude. Like, if that was me, right? Like, oh yeah, here's a cool $68 billion to go acquire Activision Blizzard. Yeah, I'm going to expect results too. And I think that this is kind of why we're seeing, just a massive shift from the company as a whole, where it's like, we will put Indiana Jones on PS5, actually. Shit, we're going to need that money. I'm more, at this point in time, man, I feel like we kind of have a somewhat decent idea of what to expect from Microsoft. I want to see what Sony's going to do next, man. Because I feel like Sony is kind of like, they've been up and down, kind of all over the place. They've had their low lows, their high highs, and I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing. Waylark, you're saying this time it was corpo and support staff fired. Yeah, I saw that. No, like, studios affected, I think, or like closed or anything like that. No games canceled. So that's good, I guess. But yeah, higher ups now. Bring on the state of play. I'm ready for it, man. Insider Gaming says scalpers are attempting to resell the PS5 disk drives, but sources say don't worry about availability. It's taken just 2 days since the announcement of the PS5 Pro for scalpers to try and ruin things for everyone else. On Wednesday, it was noticed that the PS5 disk drive was selling out at online retailers like Best Buy and Amazon. Now, just another day later, scalpers are attempting to make a profit on the PS5 disk drive requirement. If you want to play physical discs on the PS5 Pro, you need the external disk drive. While it normally costs $80, scalpers have already taken to eBay to try to extort players for extra price. Some have listed the drive for as much as $200+ or $200+ plus shipping. Others are lower, but still too high at $120. All of it is being done in an attempt to convince people that this is the only way to get one of the drives. Will it work? Unlikely. A source at Sony who spoke on the condition of anonymity tells Insider Gaming that the company expects to have no issue with supply of the PS5 Pro or the disk drive moving forward as the launch of the new console approaches and passes. As of the time of this writing, you can still purchase them from PlayStation Direct, GameStop, and Walmart. So there you go, man. That's actually a really interesting scoop from Insider Gaming. According to their source within Sony, this is not availability of either of these things is not going to be an issue, which is, I think, very reassuring for a lot of people. You're saying this is the dumbest news? I don't think it is, actually. I think it's actually very reassuring for a lot of people because, dude, people who want the Pro, the most were probably there at the launch of the PS5 or the pre-order day for the PS5, and that was not fun. And some people who missed out on the pre-order window didn't get a PS5 for like months, maybe even like a year or two later. So it's understandable, I think, why people would be nervous that situation would happen again. But yeah, apparently Sony, they got it under control this time. So that's the latest report from Insider Gaming. Let's see what else is floating around here. Flappy Bird's official return in 2025. What? Oh, shit. The apocalypse really is upon us, isn't it? Well, we have a KaneZ7 here. He says, confirmed. Abandon is going to show up at the State of Play. PS5 Pro Enhanced. Download size is 200 gigabytes. Aims for 8K, 120 FPS on the Pro. You're saying here at the end, JK, but I don't know, man. You had me going there. Our biggest third-party game that we locked down as an exclusive, Abandon real-time experience. Gran Turismo runs at 8K on the Pro. Yeah, I saw that. What? What's Polyphony doing, bro? Omen86 says, if you only own an OG launch PS5, do you also need to buy a disk drive plate for the PS5 Pro? Another additional cost, the icing on the cake, cherry on top. Actually, no. You don't. Wait. No, you do not. You do not. Because the plate, I know what you're saying, like the plate on the top of the PS5, that's completely separate from the bottom. So basically, if I have a PS5 Pro, like imagine I'm holding a PS5 Pro, I just pull off the bottom right plate and then I put the disk drive on there and that's it. There's 3 other plates. 1, 2, 3. So we should be good. That would be crazy. You need to buy a whole new set of plates. The icing on the cake, cherry on top. If you buy another color, yeah, I don't know how that would work. Have I seen Donkey's YouTube video on the PS5 Pro? No, I don't watch Donkey. I can't wait to put 2 4K TVs together so I can run Gran Turismo in 8K. I don't think that's how it works. That is wild, though. That is wild how Polyphony Digital is just out here being like, yeah, You can run GT7 at 8K on the PS5 Pro. Like, excuse me? 8K 60 FPS. Wait, did they say it's at 60 FPS? It's not native. It's 8K pisser. Okay. Got you. Nobody you know has an 8K TV? Yeah, I don't know anybody with an 8K TV. Donkey wasn't negative on the PS5 Pro, just silly. That's a bit surprising. I feel like everybody's been negative on the Pro. Everybody's been negative on it. Well, I did want to say that I really do feel like Sony has to get back to the games a little bit. You know, there's nothing wrong with them dedicating a week, obviously, to the new hardware. It's expected, but I just think considering the amount of backlash the Pro is getting, a new state of play focusing on games and game announcements will be very welcome. And I think we're basically going to hear from Sony during a state of play, and then we're going to hear from them during TGS, probably with Death Stranding 2. And I think October and November, I don't know what exactly Sony's planning on doing, but I think it's safe to say in December, look, man, I don't want to like get my hopes up, but the first week of December is PlayStation's 30th anniversary. I would be shocked if they're not planning on doing something, man. I'm not saying they have to do something major or massive, but it's a huge deal. You know, like it's the 30th anniversary. So I do feel like they got to be planning to do something. Plus, you have the Game Awards, so I think what I'm trying to say is there's plenty of time between now and the end of the year for Sony to really kind of focus on the games and draw people's attention to the games. You know, the Pro will be there. Whoever wants it can get it. But I want Sony to come out and remind people, especially all the people who are screeching and very upset right now. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, but just remind people like why there's 62 million PS5 sold right now. Why there are so many people who still do love PlayStation. It's because of the games, man. They'll announce another price increase. What better way? To celebrate our 30th anniversary, we're announcing the base model PS5 is going up to $600. Oh, dude, yeah, no, I that would be MBG the Game Rant article says 8K, but not sure if it's 30 or 60 FPS. And they think it's PSSR upscaled. Interesting. Yeah, I could see. I mean, Polyphony Digital is always trying to like push the limit, I think. So they were probably having a lot of fun with that new technology. Yeah, Sony is going to be at Tokyo Game Show, but I'm expecting Tokyo Game Show. I'm expecting it to mainly focus on Death Stranding 2. Like, I think we're going to get a gameplay presentation at Tokyo Game Show of Death Stranding 2, and I'm very excited for that, dude. I know Tokyo Game Show isn't, I know Death Stranding 2 isn't the game that people are most excited about. I know that, but I don't know. For me, I'm absolutely stoked for Death Stranding 2. Hell yeah, that's one of my most anticipated games. And I'll be honest with you, man, like I can't wait to see what it looks like on the Pro. Death Stranding 2 better have the ability to toss packages from a distance into a mailbox. Now that's the type of gameplay experience I want. That's funny though. .30 FPS will always happen. So you need to push for a new TV lineup. William, you're saying, MBG, please finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the PS5 Pro. It will be worth it to wait for the Pro, but not worth it to drop it completely. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, I mean, I don't think Rebirth looked that bad, but I could definitely see some of the flaws in the performance mode when I played it. It was noticeable. Like, it wasn't like unplayable or anything. It's kind of similar to what we see with something like Black Myth Wukong, where it's like it's not unplayable, but it's not ideal. It's like kind of far from ideal. But it is interesting to hear that specifically Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is really apparently kind of glowing on the Pro. Like, it's getting a huge uplift. And I don't know that I was expecting that, to be honest with you. And that probably will be where I finish it. All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to keep this stream going for a little bit longer, but what I want to let you know is we're going to be moving over to the members lounge once this stream wraps up. So we'll probably keep it going for another 10, 15 minutes or so. But I want to emphasize right now that we're going to be ending the day with a members lounge. So we are at 13 members for the day. Obviously, I want to see us continue to push for that 25 goal. But if you want to drop any membership gifts, if you want to become a member, now would be the time to do it. Do I think Astro Bot will come to PC later next year? I could see Astro Bot eventually making its way to PC. I don't know if it'll be as soon as next year. It's possible, but actually, I don't know. I mean, if I kind of thought Astro would sell throughout the generation, but maybe it could. It's possible. It's because Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually a PlayStation 6 game. We are playing in parts while it's being developed. That's a really interesting way to look at it, William. Yeah. Because that is how it's going to end, right? The complete package on PlayStation 6. Death Stranding was a brilliant game. Definitely getting Death Stranding 2. Yeah, I mean, I want to see the 3 games I'm really eager to kind of see shown off on the PS5 Pro are Death Stranding 2, Wolverine, and Ghost of Tsushima 2. I mean, I want to see a lot of third-party games as well. And now that I'm thinking about it, man, Resident Evil 9 could look insane on the Pro. Resident Evil 9 could be a huge game reveal, man. I mean, it will be a huge game reveal, but I mean for the Pro specifically. Because Resident Evil games look great already. You ready to replay Demon Souls on the Pro? Please update Bloodborne. I'm telling you, man, Bloodborne's being saved for the PlayStation 6. I'm telling you. Final Fantasy VII Remake, PS4 Rebirth, PS5 Recode, PS6. So you're saying PS4's Remake, PS5 is Rebirth, and then PS6 is going to be called Recode. Recode? I don't know. Could it be called Recode? Did they confirm? I feel like that wasn't confirmed, right? Surely I would have heard about that. I'm still not. Somebody posted leaked artwork for Resident Evil 5 Remake on YouTube and Capcom took it down. Maybe Resident Evil 5 Remake is happening. Let me see. Oh, wow. That's really random. FF7 Reverse. Resurrection? Resurrection could work. Probably called Return. Capono says, I really thought Herman had something to prove. What about Code Veronica? Yeah, I don't know, man. Code Veronica would be I think Code Veronica would do really well. But Omen, I like that. Final Fantasy remonetize. Remonetize that shit. I don't know why that's so funny. Remonetize. RE, Royal, get it? Resident Evil is royalty. I think this year marked the 30th anniversary for Resident Evil as well, right? Was it this year? Let me see. No, 1996. So not quite. Very close though. Why are people saying the Pro only does 30 FPS when the Pro isn't even out yet? It's to be expected, man. There's so much stupid shit going around right now. The clowns are out in full force. The amount of shit I've been seeing people say about the Pro, it's like, again, I'm not here to defend it. Although, you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. Like, the more I see people gaslight me, the more it just makes me want to lean into being like, fuck it, maybe I just should. Even if it's not even how I really feel, maybe I just should. Because I've been noticing that recently as people are, I've been noticing that people they cherry pick what I say, you know? They'll like hyper focus on this one thing I said, but completely ignore everything else. And it's like, everything else I said is pretty damn important too. If you're trying to, you know what I mean? If you're trying to tell me that what you think I'm saying is wrong. But yeah, I don't know, man. The reactions have been nothing short of over the top, certainly. Titus says, if you become the man your enemies claim you are, then they were right. Words of wisdom, Titus. Yeah, no, I couldn't even if I tried. That's the thing. It's the state of discourse in general. Don't give in to the haters. Say whatever the fuck you want. Ken Kutaragi equals royal. Yeah, he's going to be speaking, I think, sometime soon, which is really interesting. All right, guys, we got a 2-minute warning here. We're we were closer to the 2-hour mark than I actually realized. So we got like a 2-minute warning. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to head over to the members lounge. The PC part picker shit is hilarious. Hilarious. They're bitter. Well, I think it's probably what we always see, where I think there are people with valid concerns and valid criticisms. And unfortunately, the people with valid concerns and valid criticisms, and I end up getting distracted by this as well, the people with valid concerns and valid criticisms end up getting completely like shoved to the side by the ballistic morons who, you know, just want to overreact and create hyperbole, you know, around any given situation. And that is what's most annoying, because when people do that, it just removes any productive conversations that could take place, you know. But their reactions don't surprise you at all. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens in the coming weeks, because the next couple weeks should bring a much bigger focus to the games, and I can't wait to see people lose their minds at the games next, because the games won't be good enough either, because nothing's ever good enough and everything sucks. Omen says start spending more time on playing games instead of talking about the machine that plays them. How dare you, Omen? How dare you tell me to spend more time on games? No, I hear you, man. I'm hoping to wrap up Astro Bot soon. And I think I'm going to move on to Space Marine after that. But I'm taking too long. I feel like I'm taking too long with Astro Bot. Like, it's really not a long game. But I'm just, like, slowly making my way through it. I'm just, like, playing it in chunks. But, guys, that is going to wrap up today's stream. Wanted to keep it a little bit shorter. I've been doing these, like, 4-hour-plus streams very consistently, and don't want to overdo it. So, pretty good conversation today overall. We are going to head over to the members lounge for a little while, get some members content. So if you are a channel member, that stream is going to go up right after this one ends. If you're not a member, you can consider becoming one, gain access to these member exclusive streams. And yeah, before I head out, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the content, supporting the content. Very big week. Lot of generosity throughout the week. So again, just want to express my gratitude for that. Today, anybody who dropped a super chat, anybody who dropped a membership gift or became a member, thank you guys so much. Also want to give a shout out to anybody who dropped a direct donation, which actually I just want to make sure I didn't miss any before we head out here. We are good. We are caught up. And that does it. Also want to make sure to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for the streams. So Devil Shooter, thank you for what you do, man. If you guys see him in the comments, show him some love, give him some thanks. And yeah, so to all my members, we're going to head over to the members lounge, and to everybody else, I will catch you in the next proper stream. So that does it. Until next time, guys, take care.